Welcome to Virtual Learning Network. Foundation Course in Humanities and Social Sciences, Session number 7, Post-Independence, India, Continuity and Change. Topics that will be covered in this unit are legacy of nationalist movement, legacy of struggle for economic development, legacy of secularism, legacy of internationalism, and bureaucracy. The very first topic that we are going to discuss is legacy of nationalist movement. The freedom struggle was perhaps the greatest mass movement in world history. After 1919, it was built around the basic notion that the people had to and could play a decisive role in politics and in their own liberation. It succeeded in politicizing and drawing into political action a large part of Indian people. Mahatma Gandhi was of the opinion that it is the people and not the leaders who create a mass movement through the quality of leadership in an important criterion for its success. The Indian nation was formed by a twofold process. First of all, one was unity imposed by the colonial rule by giving India a centralized administrative structure, rule of law, and modern means of communication, such as the colonial rule and the economic dependency of British Empire was. This did not go unchallenged against the British policies and the colonial rule. They developed an all-India movement which sought to critique the economic foundations of the British rule and the structures of independence created by it. This was broadly a people's movement in which Indians cutting across the divides of region, caste and religion forged the consciences of an Indian nation. National Congress as a all India forum of Indian aspiration played a crucial role in that nationalist movement. जैसा कि नेशनलिस्ट मूवमेंट के बारे में हमने पिछली यूनिट्स में डिस्कशन किया, फ्रीडम के लिए स्ट्रगल जो भारत में हुआ ये एक मास मूवमेंट था. इसमें लीडर्स ने अहम भूमिका अदा ना करके लोगों ने अहम भूमिका अदा की. जैसा कि गांधी जी का मानना था कि लीडर्स से ज़्यादा ये आम लोगों का आंदोलन है और इसकी सफलता में लीडर्स से ज़्यादा आम लोगों की मदद की ज़रूरत है. और इसी तरह इसी क्रम में लोग आगे आए और उन्होंने इस नेशनलिस्ट मूवमेंट को, इस राष्ट्रीय आंदोलन को सफल बनाया. Legacy of nationalist movement 2. Satyagrah that is urging for truth, which was fashioned by Gandhiji as a means of active participation of people, achieved precisely the objectives of the mass movement. The national movement from the very beginning popularized democratic ideals and institutions among the people and struggled for introduction of parliamentary institutions on the basis of popular elections. सत्याग्रह, जिसने इस नेशनलिस्ट मूवमेंट में, इस राष्ट्रीय आंदोलन में एक महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका अदा की और इस राष्ट्रीय आंदोलन में मास मूवमेंट होने की वजह से, लोगों के पार्टिसिपेशन की वजह से इसने अपने ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, इसने अपने उद्देश्यों को भली भांति पूरा किया. Legacy of struggle for economic development. The British legacy of subordination of India has been characterized as the development of underdevelopment. Underdevelopment or underdeveloped people area. Gandhiji always just emphasized on the development of underdeveloped people. However, it was not policy alone but a structural underdevelopment which the British rule brought. British and other metropolitan countries now became producers of high technology, high productivity, high wage and capital inclusive goods, while India produced new technology, low productivity, low wage and lower intensive goods. Legacy of struggle for economic development. This meant that the British and other metropolitan countries now became producers of high technology, high productivity, high wages and high capital inclusive goods, while India produced low technology, low productivity, low wages and labor intensive goods. Aiding the dream was a high level of military expenditure which was met from the Indian revenue. This enabled Britain to expand and then maintain its imperialist position in Africa and Asia. The next point is legacy of secularism. The national movement from early days was committed to ideal of secularism. The two visions of secularism, one of coexistence of different religious groups and two of separation of state from religion, debated each other to give form to healthy respect for pluralism and diversity in our national movement. The leadership of national movement fought to inculcate secular values among the people and opposed the growth of communalism. जब भारत में राष्ट्रीय आंदोलन की शुरुआत हुई तो सबसे पहले सेकुलरिज्म पर, धर्मनिरपेक्षता पर जोर दिया गया. देश के विभिन्न हिस्सों में रहने वाले लोग जो अलग अलग धर्मों से, अलग अलग जातियों से ताल्लुक रखते थे, सभी का इस मूवमेंट में एकजुट होना जरूरी था. उन सभी के नेतृत्व में, उन सभी की लीडरशिप में ये नेशनल मूवमेंट, ये राष्ट्रीय आंदोलन को दिशा दी जानी थी. और जब तक सभी धर्म, सभी जाति, सभी समुदाय के लोग एक नहीं थे, तब तक इस आंदोलन का सफल होना तय नहीं था. इसलिए जितने भी लीडर्स, जितने भी नेशनल मूवमेंट को आगे बढ़ाने वाले नेता थे, सभी ने सभी धर्मों और सभी संप्रदायों को एकजुट किया और इस तरह से इस राष्ट्रीय आंदोलन ने एक दिशा ली। The national movement had met its major limitation in addressing questions of communalism, as historians put and point out. Whenever the mass popular national movement receded into background, communal tendencies used to gain ground. Post-independence, India too has witnessed horrendous communal riots in places like Bhiwandi, etc., where old and new antagonisms combined to distort the legacy of secularism, creating an ugly social divide. जैसा कि हमने पढ़ा, अगर जातिगत भेदभाव, सामुदायिक भेदभाव कम नहीं किए गए तो इंडिपेंडेंस मिलना मुश्किल था और पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस यानी कि आज़ादी के बाद भी हमने बहुत से राइट्स, बहुत से दंगे देखे, जिसमें भिवंडी में हुआ दंगा एक था। Then the legacy of internationalism. The national movement was not inward looking, and since the days of thinkers like Rajaram Mohan Roy, Indian leaders pursued a broad international outlook. Rajaram Mohan Roy, who had positively responded to international events, the Indian National Congress leaders too had evolved the practice of assessing and responding to international events. That was the legacy of internationalism actually. If we talk about Nehru even maintained that there was much truth in British claim that Britain had brought to India Western conceptions of parliamentary democracy and personal liberties as well. And by transforming India into a single unitary state, it had established among Indians a sense of political unity. Besides that, Nehru pointed out that the British were responsible for having first opened India's window to the West and brought her in contact with one aspect of Western industrialism and science, that is railway, telegraph, wireless, etc. C. Sankaran Nair, in his presidential address of 1897, even argued that the British had brought a secular rule to a multi-religious society like India. Thus, in spite of the fact that British themselves brought racism into practice in late 19th century, उन्होंने जातिगत भेदभाव शुरू किया 19th century में, the Indian national movement's leaders rose above racist outlook to argue for a genuine non-racist internationalism. And subsequently, the Indian foreign policy in the post-independence period was to carry this legacy forward. Nehru put it that India India was non-aligned nation in the post-independence period and followed a temper of peace and friendship with all the countries. जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं, नेहरू जी ने कहा कि हमारा देश नॉन अलाइंड कंट्री रहेगा, गुट निरपेक्ष रहेगा, यानी इस देश का किसी गुट के साथ ना जुड़ना। राजा राम मोहन राय, इन्होंने अपना इंटरनेशनल आउटलुक दिया, अपना व्यू दिया और हर तरह के इंटरनेशनल इवेंट्स का इन्होंने अच्छी तरीके से रिस्पांस किया, जिससे कि इंटरनेशनल लेवल पर, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर भारत को एक गुट निरपेक्ष राष्ट्र का दर्जा मिला। It may be argued that the Indian foreign policy, by and large, has kept up with this spirit in post-independence period. Though constrained to fight 3 major wars, one with China and 2 with Pakistan, the 5 principles of peace, that is Panchasheel, have remained the bedrock of India's foreign policy. भारत की जो अंतर्राष्ट्रीय नीति रही, इसमें पंचशील, जिसमें 5 सिद्धांत बताए गए हैं. One is that mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty. Second is mutual non-aggression. Third is mutual non-interference in each other's affairs. And fourth is equality and mutual benefit. Peaceful coexistence. We can say Indian foreign policy has indeed consolidated the legacy of the national movement, and these were 5 principles that India has to follow as it is considered a non-aligned country. भारत एक गुट निरपेक्ष राष्ट्र है, इसलिए इन 5 प्रिंसिपल्स को, 5 सिद्धांतों को उसे उसका अनुकरण करना पड़ता है. Legacy of internationalism. It may be argued that the Indian foreign policy by and large has kept up with this spirit in post-independence period. The 5 principles of peace are, as we discussed, Panchasheel, mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity, sovereignty. इन सभी सिद्धांतों को, 5 सिद्धांतों को हमें अच्छे से फॉलो करना पड़ता है, इसका अनुकरण करना पड़ता है. अगर इसमें से कोई भी सिद्धांत अच्छी तरह अनुकरण ना किया जाए तो नॉन अलाइंड कंट्री, जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं कि गुट निरपेक्षता, हम इससे अलग हो जाते हैं. एंड एट द सेम टाइम वी वायलेट द रूल्स ऑफ बीइंग अ non-aligned country. Bureaucracy. The national movement also came up against the structures of British rule. One of the important pillars of this was the bureaucracy. Bureaucracy formed the steel frame for British Empire. Its recruitment through a competitive exam initially brought in Englishmen who manned posts as diverse as district collectors to commissioners and secretaries of the government. In the post-independence period, it was debated whether the civil services should continue in free India or not. And after careful deliberations, it was decided to retain the structure of civil services. चूंकि ब्यूरोक्रेसी एक सफलतापूर्वक शासन करने की करने का स्ट्रक्चर है जिसके थ्रू किसी भी डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री में, किसी भी लोकतांत्रिक देश में आसानी से शासन किया जा सकता है। इसलिए आज़ादी के बाद भी भारत में सिविल सर्विसेज या उसे हम ब्यूरोक्रेसी, नौकरशाही, इस सर्विस को हमने अपनाया। In the post-independence period, Nehru envisaged that the bureaucracy should take up the developmental responsibilities. Consequently, we see the bureaucracy broadening from the maintenance of law and order to taking up issues of development. Now, at the end of the session, you have two questions to do. One is, what were the features of internationalism that the foreign policy of Nehru carried forward? And the second one is, what were the freedoms gained as the legacy of the national movement? Thanks. That's it for this session. We learning, happy learning.